What's up? What you need? Oh, okay. What's your name? Perla. Perla. You're not in alphabetical, so give me a second. Yep. Sure. All right, guys. So let's focus for a little bit on what you need. Practice test?
No, the actual test.
Answer key, or you need your thing back? What's your name?
Raji.
I always call you Roji, don't I?
It's either, it doesn't matter.
Either way? Okay.
Yeah.
Or you just be nice. You don't have to be nice to me. Christina, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you.
Christian Gonzalez.
Ah. Give me a second. They're not in order. Ah.
Thank you.
Oh. Marco, right?
Yeah.
Sure. You got an answer key there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Guys, as long as I got this up here, any other questions about any of the ones on here? And I really didn't mean to try to look at everybody's, but that just was not going to happen after the weekend I had. All right. Okay, so I want to focus on some things that were troubling. Somebody help me out. How can I rewrite that? What kind of idea is this? It's less than, so that means what? Who can tell me anything? Come in and, I like it. You could memorize that if you want to. Is it a haunted house or is it a restraining order? Stay close to me or get away from me?
Close.
Stay close. Why does it stay close? Because absolute value is distance. And what does it say then? What's the idea? Some distance is less than 2. So if I didn't want you to get further than 2 away from me, be less than 2 feet away from me, that's stay close to me. You guys see what I mean? So not every equation has an idea. Some of them are just flipping made up out of nowhere just to get practice. But things like this, there's an idea behind it. You guys, so what's a better way to write this than separately? Since it's a stay close to me, I should be able to write it like this. I can always rewrite an absolute value less than like this. Immediately, just bam. Right, and now I'm less concerned. You should be able to add 1. Whoop-de-doo. Right? And then you can graph it, interval notation. I'm not going to focus on that right now. If you have issues with those, you better clear those up. But this was like universal in a way. We had a lot of trouble with this. So if I saw absolute value of 2 minus 5x less than or equal to 10, how can I, don't say anything out loud. Try to just rewrite it. You don't have to solve it. Just rewrite it in a form that you could then solve. You don't have to solve. I am. I really want you to think about, what's the absolute value of negative 7?
7.
See? You can. But you don't know that the inside is negative. There's a minus. No, hell no. Guys, what's the absolute value of 8 minus 6? Absolute value of 8 minus 6. Why is it 2? Because 8 minus 6 is 2, and then the absolute value of 2. You wouldn't say the absolute value of 8 minus 6 is 8 plus 6. You didn't change the number, you changed the part of the number. So you always have to know what the number is first before you take an absolute value. Do you understand how that is why I can't just do the absolute value. I have to guess. I have to say it could be this or this because I don't freaking know. That's where the 2 cases come from. Because I don't know what 2 minus 5x is. Shit, and you're all like, you don't? You're the math guy. Well, that's the purpose of x. I don't know what the hell it is. But if there's a constraint on it, I could solve for it, sure. So how do I rewrite this?
Negative 10
less than equal to 2 minus 5x.
Less than.
So you can see the two cases. You can see there's one case, 2 minus 5x is less than or equal to 10. And the other case would be 2 minus 5x greater than or equal to negative 10. There it is also. Now some of you guys, now then you would solve it, do all the crap, and I'm not worried about that right now. I'm worried about this step, right? Can't get this step, I don't care what you do after that, you're dead. So what if I had, let's see, I was about to make a point and I forgot all about it, too bad for me. So I mean, if I have the absolute value of 58 x squared minus 7x plus 4 is less than 2. You want to solve that? You want to solve that? You don't have a clue how to solve that. But can you rewrite it?
Yes.
Yes. You basically say this is in between what?
Less than 2, greater than negative 2.
Because that's what less than means. It means stay close to me. Don't let that thing go above 2 and don't let that thing go below negative 2. That's how you say that. And then you solve that. Dear God, I'm not going to give you this problem. Do you understand? Right? But you can at least rewrite it. I wouldn't even give you that because some of you guys would try to solve it and go insane. I only want to make you a little more insane. Okay, so what about greater than? What if I had the absolute value of x minus 1 is greater than 2? Make another thing there. There you go, Jeff. Greater than is stay away from me. Why does that make sense? Because absolute value is distance, and this is distance bigger than something. That, to me, a long time ago, I was like, that sounds like a restraining order. You got to be this far away at least from somebody. Like, get the hell away from me, right? And again, I'm always sorry if somebody goes through that in their own personal life, right? I'm sorry. It just is a really good analogy for this problem. So that means that I can't expect to write it in a single thing because it's going to be two separate answers, right? So now I'm going to have to write my two cases. And they're actually the same exact cases as when we did equations. One case is zeroing it alone. If that number is already bigger than 2, then the freaking absolute value is bigger than 2, right? If it's 7, the absolute value is 7, it's bigger than 2. Or
Less than.
x minus 1 is less than negative 2. That's the two cases. Why do you have to show both cases on this one? Because greater than is two separate things. Less than is contained. Greater than is not, right? Maybe. There are other ways to kind of think about this and set them up, but to me, this to me always made the most sense. But if you see it a different way and you can show me what you're doing, I'm happy. Is everybody any questions on that? Those ideas? Yes?
Have you heard this, the great Torah and the less than?
I think it's been a while. Yeah, great Tor. So greater is or, less than. So less than is and. The reason I don't use that is I like to try to teach people to just write it like this. You don't even have to remember which one's and, which one's or. But if you like that, it's beautiful. Less than, great Tor, I love it. I sort of love it. I think I already ranted to you a little bit about how I feel about stuff like FOIL. Have I? Did I go off on a rant about FOIL? All right, so it kind of falls almost in that category. You're like, whatever, Jeff, I love my FOIL. All right, sure. Okay, all right. So let's get back into where we left off, which, unfortunately for you guys, is the topic which is very hated at first. Matrices. I think we did this. So let's do this. I'm going to make another problem up. If you weren't here last time, I'm sorry. there is a recording of last time up on the YouTubes on the internet. I'm going to jump right into matrices. So last time I tried to do a problem both by hand and with a matrix, just so you can see how they both said the same thing. They both captured the same stuff. And I tried to get you to understand that we're learning a brand new process. So it's not the process's fault that we have to get used to it. The process is actually pretty quick, but we're still getting used to it. Okay. So let me make up a problem. Let's all pray that Jeff makes one that works. That would be nice, Jeff. I'm going to put over here out of your eyesight the answer. All right, let's see. There you go. Yep. And then okay, I like it. All right, guys. This is a topic that you have to understand. It just takes several attempts at it to get used to the process. What is the whole idea of doing this, like what I call by hand? Don't get too excited. When I say by hand, I don't mean the other option is in a calculator. I am going to show you how it works in a calculator, but I want you to do the matrix by hand. So what I mean by hand is algebraically, where we kill a letter and then we kill it again. So, for example, why is this X here so beautiful? Because if I wanted to kill this, it's real easy, right? If I would have put a 5 here, that would have sucked. Because then it's like you can't make 5 become 2 or vice versa very easy. You guys follow what I'm saying? So that is why 1s are beautiful in matrices, because they are easy to make anything else, to kill something. Are you with me? Well, what's even more important than a 1 in a matrix? A 0, because what would a 0 mean in a matrix? That letter has been killed. And of course we know that's the purpose. That's what we're trying to do. There's too much unknown shit on top of unknown shit on top of unknown shit. If I could just kill some of that, I can figure out what this shit is. Right? And there's somebody out there's like, yeah, that's a lot of shit. Okay, so how does this look? Don't say anything out loud. If you weren't here last time, you might have no freaking clue, but just accept this. Write down what this looks like in a matrix. Some of you guys might have already done that. What does it look like in a matrix? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. All right, let me catch up to you. What's it look like? Now, if you weren't here yesterday, I'm hoping somebody near you is filling you in. But if you have nobody near you, this are just coefficients, right? Now, real quick, why is it I'm able to go from this to a matrix directly? What's nice about the way I gave this to you? Yeah, all the X's, Y's, and Z's are lined up. That's the first thing you do, and then what the hell do you need them for anymore? All you care about are the numbers. So there are several processes in math where we do similar things. You're like, who gives a shit about the letters? They're all where it's supposed to be. Let's just write it with just the numbers so I can work with them. Yeah. So what does this next row look like?
2, 4, negative 2.
What did I do?
Negative 2, 4, negative 2.
Yeah, negative 2, 4, negative 1, negative 1. Is that cool? And there's Horace. 3.
4, 3.
Alright, I like it. Okay? So that's one little skill, and that's not a huge skill. It's like, just put the coefficients down. Ooh. Just make sure that the book didn't do something evil and switch some variables around, or maybe there's some on the other side. You got to get it all lined up before you make it into a matrix. What is... we're going to solve this sucker. And what is the goal when I solve it? Where do I know when I can stop? What's my goal going to be?
1, 0, 0.
Yeah, 1, 0, 0. With some numbers in here, right? All right, let me see. I see some of you guys. I don't know if you weren't here last time. You're like, what has happened to math? All right, I'm very sorry you feel that way. Just bring in what you can. Why is this matrix just on the surface of it like you know it's a really good freaking matrix? It's really good because there's a lot of zeros, right? And even better, x equals this number, y equals this number. I know I can just read the answers off, right? It's beautiful. Little tears. Oh. Okay, so here we go. So there's several little skills that aren't that huge, but they are necessary. So here we go with the really difficult skills, which is just working with this thing. And I really desperately want you guys to realize everything we would do. What would I do to kill this? To kill this, I guess I should show you what I'm talking about. To kill this negative 2x, what would I use? I would use the first row, multiply by 2, and add it to the second equation, the second row. Right? It's amazing. That's what we would do. So that's the same damn thing we do here. It's just that it organizes things better. Sometimes you guys die at this because you just can't keep track of what the hell has been done and where's it going. Good Lord. This is supposed to help you organize things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say twice row 1, twice row 1, plus row 2. Now where am I going to put the answer? Because I'm going to make a 0 when I do that, right? Yes, sir.
How do you know a row to pick?
So when I was going to solve these equations, do you agree that like an x is a really good one to pick, to kill? And then I would double this and add it to this, right? I mean, so it's not, or I could multiply this by negative 3 and add it to the third one. It doesn't matter which one you do first. So here, that's really the same thought process. I see a 1 there already. I can double it and kill this. I can triple it, negative triple it and kill this. Bam. And now that we've talked about that a little bit last time, I'm going to obviously do more examples today. I normally tell people, finish a column out, move to the next column. Because what really sucks is when you make a 0 and you're bouncing around, and then you lose the 0. There's very few cases where you want to lose a 0. Right? Why do you not want to lose a 0? Because you did work to kill that letter. You don't want to bring it back to life. Right? Number 1, that's weird. But number 2, that's just more work. Yes? Are you good?
Did you already do z's?
Yeah, totally. Totally. It really doesn't matter which column you start with. Just finish that column and then move to another one. I like it. Okay. All right. So I could have done the z's all day long. But let's just keep going with this. Just because I'm crazy. You see, now, you got to be honest with me about how you feel about how I represent what I'm doing next. Did everybody get a copy as I madly search to see if I have any more? With that example of a matrix stuff worked out on the back, it was like really colorful. Everybody got a copy of that? It looked like this. Oh, shit, now that's helpful. Yeah, this is 9-2. That's where we are. So here I show you all the little work, but to be honest, what I would do here is I would just write 2, negative 2, 4, 6. See 2, negative 2, 4, 6? And then I would just add these, bam, 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 bam. So I have less to write. So let me show you here, okay? Show you here. So what we just do, what are we going to do to row 1? Double it. We're going to double row 1. Do I want to leave row 1 doubled forever? Why am I doubling row 1? What's the only reason I'm doubling it? So that the first thing comes at 2, and I can kill it. Do I really want it to stay doubled forever? No, I don't want to lose my 1 there. What the hell? So that is, yes ma'am.
Once you do that, are you also then creating the second row as zeros?
Yeah, I'm going to overwrite the second row. So the idea with the matrix is I keep overriding the old stuff with new, better stuff. And what makes it better is less unknowns. Right? If I get something with a 0, I'm going to overwrite. So that's why I'm going to put the answer into row 2. So watch. So here we go. Watch. So what is twice row 1? This would be 2, negative 2, 2, 2. So I don't write this step out separately, or you totally could just get used to it. I just put what it would be here because I would immediately just cut it in half again. I'm not going to leave it doubled. Why did I double it? Just to make it kill that 2 out. So what I get here, I get 2 plus negative 2, of course, is 0. Negative 2 plus 4, 2. 2 minus 1, 1. 2 minus 1, 1. Yes, ma'am?
Why did you put it in row 2 instead of row 1?
A couple reasons. What am I going to do next with that 1? I'm going to multiply by negative 3. So if I put that 0 there and there's a 2 there, I've lost that beautiful 1.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't want to put the answer somewhere where you're going to lose something useful. Plus, this is my goal. I want a 0 here. In the end, I want a 0 there, right? So I'm going to put the answer where that's going to get closer to the goal. I like it. I like it. All right. Say again? No. Now I'm just going to rewrite. Just going to rewrite that first equation, right? I'm going to rewrite this one. So here, let me show you a little bit of what we did the other day, just to remind you guys. If I did do this by hand, meaning algebraically, guys, if I did this by hand, I just want to show you what we're really doing. Wouldn't I take the first row and multiply by 2, right? That would be my first. Right? Right? And then I would take, and I would add that to the second row, right? Right? Of course I would. That's what we would do. That's the very first thing I would do is use that x to kill that negative 2x. And what do we get? We get, those cancel. We get 2y plus z equals 1. So how many x's are in this equation here? So it's like 0x plus 2. So it's 0, 2, 1, 1. 0, 2, 1, 1. Of course it is, because when I did this here, that's the same thing as this here. You guys see that? The rows are the equations. Oh, I love you guys. All right, let's take a step back. Okay. Let's take a step back. Let me see.
What the goal is. It's just that I don't know how to get there. Like I get confused. Like I'll do one equation with another, and then I'll be like, wait, but it doesn't actually exist, and it's just really hard to get to.
So that's why one thing that happens is that people start bouncing around to do anything they see, and that's when you start doing this. You get in this loop. You lose a 0, and then you make a 0, and then you lose a 0, and you make a 0, and you're like, what the shit am I doing? Because you didn't finish a column and then move on. You're trying to bounce around. Totally. Yes. And I know some of you guys are like, didn't you say that earlier, Jeff? Yes, I did, and I'm not coming down on you, but it's just, you're so worried about it, you don't even realize that's what you do. And that's what it takes care of. That problem is what doing it column by column, that's what it takes care of.
Wait, what problem?
The problem of losing zeros and making
okay.
zeros, yes. And I'll show you why. One problem I'm having right now is I desperately need you to believe this enough to let me get far enough in the problem so you can see how everything comes together. But you guys are right now going, I just don't want you to go, I'm not going to pay attention to any of this shit because I don't understand a damn thing. When if you just kind of went with me for a while, you can see how things go together. I need that, yes.
Okay, so it wouldn't be like 1 plus 3 first, because I wrote down 1 plus 3 and then 2 plus 2 times.
Well, why would you do 1 plus 3? What would that accomplish?
I thought that was like the formula for it.
Like, you mean equation 1 plus equation 3?
Yeah.
But do you see how if you add these, nothing goes away? The whole purpose of adding two equations or two rows together is to kill one of your variables. Do you guys get with me? That's fundamental. You got to come into this just knowing that's our purpose. I wouldn't say never. There are some really clever little tricks you can do, but I would never add two equations together when nothing would cancel. There's no reason really right now. There's no reason for that.
And after that, you wouldn't do the, what would be the next step after adding 1 and 2?
Okay. All right. Let me just... All right, guys. If your problem is you're not sure where this is going, well, I haven't gotten any further than this, so you don't know. If your problem is you're not sure what I did to get where I am now, that's what I need to hear right now. That's what I need to hear right now. Is everybody cool with just making the matrix? Right? That's easy. Does everybody understand the one thing this method does is it refocuses us. It makes us look at the problem a different way. So it's not just killing a letter twice, and it's not just kind of like all over the place. It's very focused. It's make zeros, and then make zeros, and then make zeros. It's like you keep doing the same thing over and over. It makes it very, what's called algorithmic. You just keep doing the same thing. It doesn't even matter. This feels a little bit like, this is like always get 1, make zeros. Get 1, make zeros. It's very focused. Now, does everybody... Let me break this down piece by piece. Does everybody understand why I multiplied this first row by 2?
Yeah.
Because then if I add these rows together, which is equivalent to adding two equations together, I would make a 0 here, which is equivalent to killing a variable. Yes?
Can I add row 1 to row 3 to kill y?
Oh, if you negative doubled this, is that what you mean?
No, if I change it times negative.
Of course. I wouldn't do it right now because I have chosen a column and I'm going to stick with that column until it's done. And when do I know a column is done? When I have a 1 and a couple zeros. Right? And that'll take care of the problem we're having earlier. Yes?
So when you add the first row and the second row, does the original, and then you like put the new equation where the second row was, does that like original second row just like disappear? Yeah. The original equation? You don't need the original.
I only keep track in the matrix of the best equations. So guys, when we did this by hand and we made like the 4th equation, do you remember that? We made the 4th equation. That was a better equation. Did any of these equations suddenly stop existing? No, I just stopped worrying about them. Because I made a better equation there and I made a better equation there. So that equation would then be in the matrix because it's better. This equation would then be in the matrix because it's better. But what do I do at the very end? When I get like a letter and I get another letter, then I pick any of these. Because they still exist. They're still part of the problem. But what the matrix does is it just says, I'm only going to keep track of the best shit. Right? So I don't have to keep track of all this other shit. I'm just going to keep track of the best shit. All right. Let's try to take another step. So everybody understands how to make the matrix. Everybody understands why I multiplied by 2. And then, I haven't checked this yet, everybody is cool with the fact that I then just added these rows together. And that's equivalent to adding two equations together. You like it? Still got some frustration, but not as much as a minute ago. All right. Oh, wow. Let me take one more step before I let you out of here. No, oh no. How do I kill that 3? What do I need to do to the first equation? So I'm going to do negative 3 row 1 plus row 3. Put the answer in row 3. Real quick, guys. So what do you get when you multiply by negative 3? You get negative 3, 3, negative 3, negative 3. So when you add the first row to the third row, what do you get? You get negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 3 minus 2, 1. Negative 3 plus 4, 1. Negative 3 plus 3, 0. And then this row stays the same. And then this row stays the same. And then I can use this one to kill these. Now notice, since I made these zeros, they are not going to screw with this 1. That's why you finish a column. If I add this row to this row, won't that just kill this? Is it going to screw with this? No. If I add these 2 rows together, am I going to lose either of those zeros? No, because 0 plus 0 is 0. That's why you finish a column, move to the next one. All right, I got a couple of you guys. I like it. And some of you guys are like, when does sense start happening? All right. You gotta, again, it's slowly getting to you. That's the way this kind of works. All right, I'll see some of you guys in lab. We got that quiz. Oh, shit.
Oh, well, I'm asking for help.
Just my question, the answer here is the place between the blue line or all.
So if you got it's greater than
So why is
minus 1, so that should be above. I don't know why it's over here. It should be above this and less than x 2. The x equals 2. I guess. Oh, your scale is 2. Is this x equals 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's below this and above this. So it should be here.
So all,
It can't be here, right? Because one condition was above the dotted line. So there's no way it could be in here.
so he's not,
So one condition is above this dotted line, right?
here.
Greater than. And the other condition is back behind this up and down line, right?
so what about this line?
What about it?
Where is the place between them? All this included?
See, that's not included in the answer because this region doesn't satisfy both.
Oh,
So what satisfies both is just this stuff here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's got to satisfy both.
I was asking because I understand everything right here, but after this, like how you explained this, I didn't get it at all.
After what now?
How you're doing this, I don't get it. Why?
Why is okay? So you only write. Okay,
I was
so
honestly, I don't know anything from there.
you ready? So we did this, right? 2, 2, and then 2 minus 2 is 0, negative, and then negative 2 plus 4 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1, and then this is that a negative 1 or what is that? Something changed here. Here we go. Yeah, it's a negative 1 here. Boop. Boop. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Now, you don't write that twice, because then you have the same information twice. So you only change one row at a time. So that's why I said put the answer in row 2. So this should still be 1, negative 1, 1, 1. So I just used this row to change this row. You only change one row at a time, especially in the early going, right? Now I can use that 1 to kill that 3 if I multiply this row by negative 3. Do you see that? So if I multiply this row by negative 3, then I can write down what each one would be if I multiply by negative 3, and then I can add those together, and I'm going to get another 0 here. Yeah, okay. But I mean, It just took me forever to hand stuff back, so we didn't make it quite as far as I wanted. So we're gonna tomorrow we'll just jump right into it and do a few examples all the way through. We need to see how this kind of goes all the way through.
Okay.
It looks like you got some of the bedrock stuff, but you're about in the same place as many other people. So tomorrow we're gonna firm it up.
Thank you.
Sure.